We're facing unprecedented challenges today. Whether it's climate change, unparalleled AI, nuclear security, right? There's global catastrophic risks right now.
You should definitely go and see the TEDx speech which was given by him.
Things will not always work out, but over time, these things will add up to something that makes sense. So I spent 6 months in India learning Kalari,
Wow.
the martial art of Kerala, the foundation
There you go.
of warrior tradition in South India.
How you as an individual got the freedom to choose in your young age?
Going to new continents, sailing, going to space, like always chasing, like the human curiosity is like really what spurred innovation.
How did you face that failure very first time?
Failure is a necessary ingredient of like everything in life. So I'm very sure of who I am and I'm not hiding anything now. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. Am I doing enough for the big goals that I keep telling myself I want to achieve?
Hello மக்களே, வணக்கம், வந்தனம், நமஸ்காரம். This is your Deepak Subramanian, yet another podcast with one of the famous personality in Chicago. And so he never need an introduction, especially in Illinois ecosystem. He has lot of roles, I'm going to say that. But before that, let's welcome Manu Edakara to our podcast.
Vanakkam.
Vandanam.
Vandanam. Namaskaram.
Oh my God, that's so great. Thank you so much, Manu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
Only.
yeah. So let's start, right? So thank you so much for stepping up for this recording and the podcast. We are really grateful to have you as a speaker because I feel you have the different energy and also the recent TEDx speech. Oh my God, so if you guys are listening to him for the first time, you should definitely go and see the TEDx speech which was given by him. And one of the favorite thing I really liked in that entire speech is like every individual has 10 times to go as deep as possible for a problem. So I just want to start with that particular theme because it opened our mind, because always as an entrepreneur we'll say that really fast, right? Really fast. We want to go to pre-seed, we want to series A, series B, but now it opens our mind. Okay, we can go as deep as possible. So how did you come up with that? Well, let's start from there.
Let's start from there. So first off, I am actually sitting here with a celebrity.
Oh my God.
Especially if you're watching all the way from Chittambaram in Tamil Nadu. We have a filmmaker here.
Oh my God.
Stand-up comedian.
Oh my God.
Writer, actor, so many things. He is also a TEDx speaker, by the way. So I'm honored to be here. Yaruni, Deepak Subramanian.
Wow, he's talking Tamil.
Subramanian.
Wow.
Murugan.
Yes.
Subramanian means Lord of War, the God of War, the son of Shivan, right? So this guy is not to be trifled with.
Oh.
So I'm in the presence of a full-formed artist here.
Oh my
So
God.
thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much,
You
Manu.
saying God, who you're calling? Shivan? Deepak means fire.
Oh my God, he is full of definition, he's full of philosophy, he's full of all those traditional epic stories and yeah, so
But
now
10 opportunities.
Yes, now
let's get down to business.
let's get down to business. Now I'm going to formally introduce him. Let's welcome
Let me answer your
Manu.
question.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
So let's welcome Manu Edakara, Kalari warrior, martial artist, actor, author, adventurer, bodybuilder, entrepreneur, investor, educator, a cultural nomad, knowledge seeker, minimalistic, storyteller. Oh my God, it's keep going. I was like, it's completely one paragraph his profile, and now let's welcome to our podcast, and now let's get back to the question which I asked. How did you come up with that thesis of like 10 different problems?
Thank you very much. And ultimately, I'm just a guy. All these things are really nice, but just another guy, just like everyone else here. And that was the point of the talk. So the talk was really focused on what are humanity's big problems. Okay? We're facing unprecedented challenges today. Whether it's climate change, unparalleled AI development without like an ethical backbone, nuclear security, right? There's global catastrophic risks right now. So in some ways, the most pivotal time in human history is now. So what do we do about it? A lot of people see these problems and they're completely overwhelmed by them. Like, oh, these are too big. I've already chose my career path. I'm studying I got my bachelor's, I got my job, I'm set on this path. But the reality is most jobs of the future haven't been created yet. They're just things that won't exist right now just because of the rapid proliferation of technology. So if that's the case, and humans are living longer and healthier and being more productive throughout their lifespan, you'll have several opportunities throughout your life to go deep into something, right? Careers are changing like this.
Yeah.
So that's a whole research behind why every person, if they started around age 18 and they live to, let's say like 88 and a nice fulfilling life, they have several opportunities to really dive into something. Because to really make an impact, to really master something, I'm sure you've heard of the 10,000 hours rule, and really putting that into a life where you're obviously eating, sleeping, exercising, socializing, that kind of stuff, that's how many kind of chances you get. You kind of get these opportunities to really dive into something.
That's really amazing. That's really, you have put a lot of math to it. So now it makes sense, because nowadays Gen Zs are all looking at the math, right? What is the 3 steps? How did you come up with that? So I think this data is supporting the claim which you made. So definitely as an entrepreneur, we will take that as one of the vision, and we'll keep solving big problems, as you said.
Yeah, because time is everything.
Yeah.
So time is everything. And time once it's spent, you can never get it back. So in some ways it's overwhelming the amount of directions we can go into, but in other ways it's very empowering, because if the first thing, my first company didn't work out, but then I kept trying, and now I'm in this position where I get to help all kinds of founders. Things will not always work out, but over time these things will add up to something that makes sense, I think.
Yeah, that's very true. And when you say there is a traditional path of complete 12th grade, go to college, get job, get settled, and then think about entrepreneurship. How was your young Manu look like? How was your early upbringing?
I'm still young.
Oh yeah, of course, I'm not questioning that. Of course you are an actor, and I'm going to see you in the big screen soon in Chicago stage show, and I'm looking forward to that. But having said that, because I always seen that young age determines how much of our exposure you have been given. That's when you know about yourself, right? So after 30 or something, many people think that this is what it is, right? So I'm going to be a software engineer for life. I'm going to be a marketer for life. That's why I'm curious to hear your upbringing, as a 12th grade kid, how your focus were, how did you end up, mastering in all these other extracurriculars, which we call it in India.
Sure, yeah. So all the extracurriculars, if we want to call it that, whether it's martial arts or philosophy, entrepreneurship, all these components that make up who I am, I just took a accelerated version of what I just talked about, the lifespan of 10 opportunities. So just doing it in seasons. So I spent 6 months in India learning Kalari, the martial art of Kerala, the foundation of warrior tradition in South India. But that's all I did. I woke up and I trained all day, almost 8 hours a day, just sword fighting, spear, dagger, everything, right? But I immersed myself in that. Do I do that now? Of course not. I got other things to do. But there's seasons to things, and I feel like if you can intensely devote yourself to something in a sprint, if we would call it in startup terms, then you can achieve a lot of success. So when I was young, I was very fortunate that my parents really limited screen time. And these things are tools, laptop, phone, but they've become addictions.
Yes.
So this thing is incredibly powerful because you have the information of the world at your fingertips, but simultaneously overpowering, right? All these things are designed to be addictive. They're scrolling, right? They're designed by psychology experts to hook us. So my focus when I was a child was my parents took me to the library. And I spent my whole youth really learning the major foundational myths of every culture and geography, because I thought that there are 2 main things that people tend to divide themselves on. One is gender. Okay, so Deepak, you're a man. And 2 is your ethnicity. Those are the 2 first things typically that people, and maybe religion is up there too.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time learning those things because I wanted to be in a spot one day where I could connect with every single person.
Wow.
Right?
There you are. You are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for example, this past weekend we had a delegation from Mongolia visit, and I was like, oh, where are you guys from? And they're like you would know. And I said, are you from Ulaanbaatar? And they said, how did you know that? And then I went into my admiration for the Mongol history, right? So just that built some connection there, and all of a sudden now they were more receptive to what I had to say. So just it was one of the things that I focused on. The second thing is I was raised in California, so my childhood was idyllic.
Okay, so you born in India or you born
San
in
Francisco.
Okay, San Francisco.
I'm a proud American patriot.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you
Deep
go.
love for India. So
That's you are the merge, I would say, because like many people once who come out of India, they've kind of not have time to practice the ancient culture, right? So but you have a different side of history. That's why I'm so curious, like how did you end up practicing Kalari in US? Like who was your guru? Like how did you get introduced to?
yeah, so that goes back into what you asked about my childhood. So we're in California. My whole life is spent outdoors. So I think adventure is like one of the core components of the human spirit. Going to new continents, sailing, going to space, like always chasing, like the human curiosity is like really what spurred innovation. Like, like even the whole European exploration and colonization, like they were looking for another route to India.
Okay.
Right, and then 1498, the Portuguese land in Kerala, and that's how that shifted the world as it is today. In terms of Kalari, my father studied Kalari.
Wow.
And my father gave me stories from the Mahabharata and from Indian history and instilled a deep love for the martial culture for our country, all the different sects there, Asian American masculinity, and the warrior spirit, right? So I'm not a soldier, but I definitely deeply identify with the warrior ethos. Like all my tattoos and everything, it's the Dharma Chakra, the Shank trumpet, that's swords, the lotus throne, like it's that the Eastern concept of a warrior, whether it's a samurai that follows Bushido, or a warrior in our subcontinent that's following Dharma Yuddha.
Dharma Yuddha.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are not just fighters, right? These are deep thinkers that are upholding Dharma, essentially making difficult choices. Right? The whole Mahabharata is about family fighting each other. That's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
But they have to do it because it's the right thing to do, even though it doesn't make sense, right? So those kind of things are like really helpful for me as a leader, because as a leader, whether we like it or not, we're it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Yes. I know I'm preaching to the Lord of War.
Oh
here.
my God! No.
Murugan, Skanda for those of you in the north.
So that's really great, that because nowadays in this fast-paced world, even in India, people don't focus on this nuance. Like as you explained, I don't think, like if I randomly ask anybody, I don't know whether they would know all these things. But it's good to it's very proud to hear that somebody get the understanding right and articulating it in the right way. So, and then what happened? Like, so you started Kalari and then you became very fan of it and you want to, what's the level for it? Like, so is it like, because I remember in karate, we used to, I am a karate guy.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean.
Be careful.
Oh my. So it's like, it goes from level to level, from yellow color to brown color to red and then black. Black is the final destination for karate. Is there something like that in Kalari?
I'm glad you asked this question. So Kalari does not have a belt system.
Okay.
Okay, and one of the reasons, there's a couple of reasons. So one of the masters said, the reason Kalari doesn't have a belt system is sometimes belt systems force you to not be individualistic and do things in a very rigid way.
Okay.
So I'm going to punch like this, and I kick like this, and I do my pose like this. Cool, I get a belt. Kalari is extremely individualistic. So if you're in the elephant stance in the north, in Vadakan Kalari in north, that might be very different than how they do it in the south. It might differ from master to master. So it's very individualistic. And of course there's competitions and stuff, but everyone's got their own flair. Vadakan Kalari is probably more focused on weapons.
Okay.
Southern Kalari is more similar to maybe to Silambam. So, then there's a Verum Kai, just like Aditara. So there's different versions of Kalari.
Okay.
But, and I think Jet Li, if you know Jet Li, he's a Chinese martial arts film star. He also kind of remarked on the same thing. He's like, sometimes belt systems standardize things too much, right? Whereas if you really want to be entrepreneurial and creative, you need to be free.
Correct.
So that's one version. My master told me that there's no belt system because in the old days, if you were good as a Kalari guru, you would be alive. If you were bad, you would be killed in combat.
Oh, really?
So all the good ones are alive.
Okay.
That means you must be a good master.
Okay.
We say Ashan in Kerala.
Okay.
Ashan means guru.
Ashan.
Gurukul.
Gurukul.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's three important people in, at least for us, is Dev, God, parents and guru. So when I see the guru, I have to touch his feet everywhere, even if it's in public. And I don't mind that at all. I will completely devote myself to that. And I think that level of respect that I've seen in Asian cultures, like in cultures like Japan, for example, you know, when people are bowing or letting old people or pregnant women get on the train before them.
Yeah.
That is definitely something that could be learned from today.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing lost by being respectful. You know? You be respectful until you give me a reason not to respect you. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so what you said is right, and you nicely pointed out. Like in Tamil, it's called Mata, Pita, Guru, Deivam. It's like mother, father, teacher, and then the God.
Yes.
So they say like why God is being given the last priority, because mom is the one who she has given birth to you, so she is your first God, and then the dad, and then the teacher, and then the God himself. So that's how in Tamil Puranam has have been written like that.
Yeah, mom is great.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, divine feminine.
Yeah.
Shakti is the most powerful energy. You know, even, I know this is, he's got good questions, but I'm a yapper. So, in Kalari, the shrine, so Kalari is obviously originates from Shivan. Shiva is the creator of movement, right?
Yes.
So dance, yoga, meditation, all that. But he taught it to Parshuram. Parshuram is Vishnu's sixth avatar, right?
Yes.
He's the Brahmin who destroyed all the Kshatriyas on earth and threw his axe into the ocean, you know, maybe from Kanyakumari, and it receded, and that became Kerala. And that used to be the land of the Nagas, right?
Okay.
The snake people. So Parshuram became the first guru of Kalari to the people of Kerala to take over the Nagas, right? So these are two important people in Kalari's mythology. Of course, Ganesh is there, Ganapati is there because he's a remover of obstacles.
Yeah.
All that being said, you know who is the presiding deity of the Kalari? It's Bhadrakali.
Oh.
So the feminine energy is considered still the most powerful energy even in Kalari.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And I mean, Kali is unstoppable.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
So there is a war, right? I remember, in my childhood days, I watched some of the, stories, series, like God series. I know, I know the God of Destroyer is Lord Shiva, and the Lord of, taking care of the individuals during the troubles are Lord Vishnu, and then the one who creates.
Who creates the
Brahma.
problem.
Yeah.
When they pray to Brahma, then they get immortality. That's where the problem comes.
Yeah.
But even in that, like Shiva's consort, when she takes Shiva and Parvati, right? And her first form is Kali. When Kali is called, when she's pulled out, she destroys the demon, but she is so full of fury, she keeps trampling across earth. You know the story? She's unstoppable. So Shivan comes down to stop her. Even he can't stop.
Cannot stop her, yeah.
And then how does he stop? He brings their child, and that brings out her womanly instincts, right? So the divine feminine energy, the reason I'm sharing it is, in Kalari, some of the greatest warriors were women. Kalari was taught to Christians, Muslims, Hindus, and men and women. Kerala is very unique in India in that it was mostly very open to different religions. Like when I go to Kerala right now, I hear the imam many times. The Hindus always got something going on. The Christians are launching fireworks.
Yeah.
There's even the oldest synagogue in India is in Kerala. It's a melting pot of different cultures.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's good. Like even I didn't know a lot of history behind why this. It's been. Thank you so much for sharing all these things. So having said that, like how you as an individual got the freedom to choose in your young age, because in most of the India times, like in the whole household, look like, hey, once you reach 10th grade, you need to get good marks, and they stop all the extracurriculars, and once you reach 12th grade, they specifically focused on the mark. Like apart from Kalari, like how does your parents support you in all of these things? Like I know your father introduced you to this Kalari. Apart from that, like how's your upbringing look like? Like freedom of choosing whatever you want.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that was very integral to my life was both my parents. They really took parenting as like a full-time job. And they put everything they had into it. So my mom and dad, my dad ran small businesses in California. So everything, gas station, liquor store, Persian rug cleaner, like, just standard brick and mortar businesses. And my mom was supporting him, right? And for me as a child, every single day we were eating dinner together. Every single day my dad is telling me a story before I go to bed. Sometimes my mom, but her stories, they were lovely stories, but the dad had the action. The action stories are good, right? So that was just that high touch. Number two, we were a little bit isolated from my friends, so we lived in a different community, which is kind of on a hill. It was beautiful, but it was all adults in our neighborhood. So there was someone from the police department, there was a priest, my uncle, who's now 92, he was a social worker at the time, our landlord, who was also retired, but she was a wonderful lady. I was surrounded by adults and talked to with respect. No one to push me to the side. They would let me sit at the dinner table and we'd talk about what books I was reading, if I was interested in the Discovery Channel. It was all very highly stimulating. And that played a huge effect on me because now at iVenture, you know this. I know we're on a podcast, but almost always I am in listening mode to the young people around me. Figuring out what's really on their mind, like really giving them a almost equal status to talk to me, regardless of my role, right? You can come to me with any problem. So I think that's really important in a child's development, is allow them the freedom and the push to sit at the table with everyone and talk. That was incredible. I think in addition, my father not only introduced me to Kalari, but he was, he did comedy, he did music, he was a cook, he did the camping stuff. He was a doer. And his father also was a doer. They were always doing things. I never saw them lying around. So for me, it just, people look at my calendar and like, wow, there's so much stuff going on. You can't sit still. There's things to do.
Yes, that's true.
You get one life and you need to really think about like, okay, like there will be one day in which I can't hike all these mountains, I can't travel, I can't go cage diving with sharks or gorilla trekking in Africa or going on safari. There's going to be one day. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to use all the energy and passion and enthusiasm, kind of like you. You're multifaceted, you're doing all these things. So, but it was an amazing foundation where I say freedom was encouraged, curiosity was encouraged, and the ability to just really communicate. My dad, I'm just even really thinking about this. At dinner, sometimes he would ask me to stand up and give a speech on something.
Wow, it's like a toast.
Yeah, like a Toastmasters, like
Toastmasters.
you. So that was the environment I grew up in. Yeah, and of course, there's a lot of change too. I shifted, I think, 14 different schools before I came to college. So I was perpetually the new kid. And if you're the new kid, if you don't make friends, you're going to eat alone at lunch. So you need to find some way to connect with people. You see how this is all connecting? Connection and enthusiasm and passion and curiosity. And ultimately, most importantly, since I'm always moving around, right? Even now, right? I've been a nomad for the last 4 years. I've traveled the entire world except Antarctica, right? All these things move around. The only constant is you. So you need to be very sure of who you are. Because no matter what you do, you'll be judged anyway. Right? Everyone will have some opinion on you.
That's good.
Right. So you got to just stay true to who you are. And that's where I am right now. So all these things, a good child is absolutely essential. And the last thing I'll say on that is that's kind of what we try to emulate here at iVenture Accelerator. We're creating an environment in which we try to remove as many barriers as possible.
That's true.
You want money, you want food, you want office space, you want strategy, you want support. Remove all the problems, just like Renaissance Italy, the Medici family, patroning the best artists. Come here, Da Vinci, come here, Michelangelo. Do nothing but create. That's what we try to emulate for 10 weeks here.
Yeah, that's very good. Good that you brought that iVenture ecosystem here, because I am really grateful because I still remember in 2023, I guess, in the January, with the sleeveless, with the heavy winter, I was very first time pitching it to you, the idea which you are trying to do. You are also asking me, hey, you want to go in? It's so cold out there. I remember that's the very first time I met you. And you have been a so supportive person, especially for international students, because we always have the mindset, hey, what I'm going to do next, because we have a lot of educational loans and a lot of other kind of responsibilities. But this iVenture Accelerator, that support, that the freedom and the mentorship, it's really helped us to break our first ice. Because I never thought when I was coming to US, I don't even know that I put my leg into entrepreneurship. My dream was but one thing I was very clear, I want to do something for people, something in education and healthcare. But I don't know why. I don't know where to start. So that's when this platform give us a freedom. At the same time, you has a different power that's always I look up to. Whenever I come and talk to you, I feel like I put all of my burden to one corner, and when I step out of the conversation, I feel like, okay, this is it, I'm going to get it. Because I don't know you, maybe the upbringing you had is what kind of spreading out. Like as a leader, I always see that the qualities in leaders, right? It's not just a communication, right? So everybody talks. Everybody who knows grammar, who knows how to put full stop and comma, they can make a good sentences. But it's not only with the sentence. It's like pushing them one step above, right? So I never felt like your conversation were really boring. Every time I really, wow, that's how I went. So grateful for the
Likewise.
support.
Yeah, you're a very interesting guy.
Yeah, so thanks for that. So having said that, you also mentioned the time, right? So, oh my God, if you guys are free, please look at his calendar. Oh my God, it's completely full. Like even to get him to his podcast, we have put so much effort to get him on board, and with his smiling face, oh my God. So that, oh, he changed. He's an actor too. See, he has changed the emotion. But yeah, so coming back to the time. So how do you value time? Like how do you manage your time so well? You're juggling between multiple hats. Being a director here, you're an entrepreneur. Day after tomorrow you'll be an adventurer, you'll be hiking in the mountain, and then you'll be doing yoga in the beach. So how do you manage time? Like it's always been a problem for us as a Gen Z.
Yeah. I think it comes down to something extremely simple. So, you know, what's the first question we ask here at iVenture?
Why I do what I do.
Yeah. So why do you do what you do? So, you know, I think that's the most important thing. So for me at iVenture, why I do what I do is to help young people build their dreams. It's very simple. You know, it doesn't mean your company needs to succeed, but you need to succeed as an individual, right? You today are a different Deepak than when we met 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, completely different. We had a small part in your journey, but like that's the whole point of this program. It's just really to develop awesome people. Because whenever we get a chance to talk to each other, like these words, these interactions, like you said, it should leave you with something where you feel like, okay, you know what, I can go and do something. I can go pursue this crazy idea. That's my role, right? I'm supposed to guide you gently in that direction, and hopefully you make the best of it, right? In terms of time, lost time is never found, right? There's a quote from Seneca, you know, the Roman writer. It's basically, life is long if you know how to use it, right? And the book is called On the Shortness of Life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay, so it's very interesting, right? Time management is very simple to me. Once you know your why, so you kind of figure out what you want out of life, you don't even need to write goals, just write down all the things you want to do. It can be bucket list things. I want to learn how to play billiards. I want to get on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. I want to make a movie, all these things. I want to get married, blah, 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 blah. All these things, you list it out. Then you kind of theme it out. Okay, so maybe marriage and dating and learning about love and intimacy is the one theme. Maybe Forbes 30 under 30, TEDx, these things are under the accomplishments thing. So you have a couple themes, right? So you list out everything, then you theme it out. Then you figure out which themes are most important to you. So maybe accomplishment is really important. Maybe fitness is really important. Okay, let's say we got those two. Those are the guiding themes. Then from there, you pick out the ones that really, really make sense. Okay? Is it worth going after every little 20 in their 20s award, or this best student in this class award, or is it best to go for the big one, right? To figure out which one. So prioritize those things. And then once you have that list, then you set a deadline. Okay, so we follow the steps here. It's very simple.
Yeah.
But I don't know if many people do this. I almost do this every week. Every semester I look at it at a macro level. Once I have the deadlines for everything, then I cut it in half. Have you heard of Parkinson's law? So it's basically work expands to fill the time allotted to it. So, for example, if you have an essay due in 2 weeks, when do you write the essay?
Last night.
So how much time did you need to do the essay?
It's just 8 hours.
That's it. So cut all the time. And then once you see that, that's like, okay, then you really have to focus very intentionally on the things that you're doing. So when you're asking me about my schedule, you know, there's a morning workout, then there's iVenture, then there's an evening workout, then there's the content creation, right? We are locked in. I do not have a TV. I do not have a car. I am focused very acutely on what I want to accomplish. Every week we need to release one podcast episode. Every week we need to release one video. You know, every month there's got to be a newsletter, right? Every week I got to hit the gym at least twice. I got 4 dance sessions, 6 martial arts sessions, right? 1 yoga session. There's no way. There's no way I'm gonna drop that.
Yeah.
No way. It's not about motivation or anything. It's just discipline. It's on the calendar. And you got to figure out what works for you and why you're doing these things, right? For me, all these things are working towards a vision. these are not bucket list items. These are not hobbies.
Yeah.
These are things that in my mind, I'm creating something that I know will be helpful. So like, for example, to be an actor in India, you need to know how to dance.
Yeah.
You need to have a body, and you need to know how to fight. These are very strategic things that I'm doing. You understand?
You're excelling in all these three.
But there's a purpose.
Yeah.
So for example, people are like, oh, you're so active, you're so fit. Do you want to come bicycling or rock climbing? I'm open to it because social life is important, but also I'm mindful because if I go rock climbing, different muscles are going to be hurting, which will impact the rest of my goals throughout the week, right?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, why don't you drink alcohol and stuff? Well, why would I do that? Would destroy all these goals.
Yeah.
You know, being cool to drink is not one of my goals. You know, being proficient in dance, martial arts, and weights, absolutely. Yeah, that I value that way more. So, long story short, to manage time, you can do anything. You just can't do everything.
Yeah.
I don't do video games. You know, I don't really go out to parties or that kind of stuff. But these things, I care about them deeply, and I'll do as best as I can to dive into it. So you can do many things.
Yeah.
But you cannot half-ass a lot of things. You're just not going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. Another thing is there's seasons to things.
Yeah.
So obviously this is busy season with iVenture, so some things I'll have to miss. But after that's done,
it's good. Like, so that's a really nice, very grateful to hear all these strategies. Hopefully we will also apply it in our lives.
for free.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, you mentioned that, right? So how do you balance the societal expectation and your vision? Because people feel, I've spoken to a lot of my friends, and when I ask them, like, hey, why did you start drinking, or why did you start doing some bad things, that's when I feel included in the society. That's when I included in the group, because I really love to sing and energetically share the vibe, but I'm against that drinking and all this kind of stuff. But one way or another, I naturally do that. Like, I bring that energy to the people, but people say that I need some kind of some substances go in to free my mind, free my social anxiety. And because of that, they get into these kind of bad habits. And on the other side is like the societal pressure. Like, if three of them are doing something, if I have to feel included, I have to do that. That's a pressure for the youngsters to get into feel included in the society. So what are your thoughts? How do you see this? Like, did it affect you in your past life? Like, have you forced you to face all these kind of things in your young life, and then you came out like, no, this is not for me? Or how is that?
He's asked me all these questions when he already knows the answer. He's faced all these things. So this is my take.
Yeah.
What's the most important relationship in life, you think?
Relationship within us?
Yes, with yourself. Are, tapi.
Nandri, bro. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the most important relationship, and that's why you got to start with the why. Why are you doing all these things? What's important to you? Most important relationship in life is with yourself.
Yes.
I'm not saying you have to be selfish. I'm very selfless. Like, that's the nature of my job. This is basically, I'm volunteering my time to help young people.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah.
Not for this guy.
Oh,
no
my
more.
God.
He's out of the program.
Oh.
This is extra. You're not a student anymore.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a student anymore.
Yeah.
I want to go back. iVenture
No,
back.
please don't come.
Oh my God, that's
I'm kidding. Yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the most important thing. It's very difficult. But, once you start asking questions back, I think that's when you can figure it out. So, how do you balance society's expectations? Then, like, if you just ask a simple question as a young person, so what are society's expectations? And you might say, let's say you're like a more conservative, traditional, older person that has some view. Or a classmate that has a view. Or everyone has a view on what you should do. Right?
Yes.
Your mom has a view, your classmates have a view, I might have a view on what you should do. What do you want to do? That's the most important thing. What do you want to do? Because my parents wanted me to be something. I am not that thing today.
Oh, really?
No, of course not. Come on. We get 3 options, right? Engineer, doctor, or failure.
Oh, it goes in the US as well. Oh my God, this entire world is corrupted.
Indian is Indian everywhere. I know I'm speaking to everyone. but and they want that because they want the best for us.
Okay.
But might always be true. There are other things that we can do, right? So for example, our country, when we really look at our country is rich in the arts.
That's true.
Dance, right? Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, performance, theater, all the razas. Like, there's so much richness in culture and art. That's being thrown away just for STEM careers? We need both.
Yeah.
We need both, right? I mean, of course, plastic surgery started in India, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just sort of, but like, when you're feeling about some way about society's expectations, there's nothing wrong with following them. But also, society's expectations change over time, change based on person, change based on location. So whose expectations are you following? Yeah, it really matters. Most people are terrible at giving advice.
That's true.
Including people close to us. That's why I don't give advice. Most of the time I'm in listening mode. What's the question I ask? I always ask, well, what do you think? What do you think you should do? You got to figure it out for yourself.
That's true. You have always been a mirror to us. Like, just be the candid mirror, not influencing either positive or negative. Just you make us to tell the facts from our own mouth. So I've seen that a couple of times, not most of the times in our conversation.
Even right now, right? I'm asking you questions. Like, this is not a one-way interview.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing you too.
Oh my God, I didn't know that I've been interviewed. It's like Big Boss, in India.
But you asked, how is it growing up? Of course, it was very difficult. So, when you come to college, you're young, you want to be cool. So I had my fun, but it also kind of left me pretty empty. I was like always doing things to please other people, right? And then once I graduated college, I was not the party guy anymore. And then, like, who cares? Everyone has a job. So why did it matter, right? Or even like all these things that I hid from people. I hid that I liked comic books, or I hid that I liked Indian history. Like, I thought I was too nerdy. Those are the things that actually attracted people to me. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's just, no matter what I do, I will be judged.
Yes.
If I come to iVenture in a suit, if I come in a polo, if I wear sneakers one day, if I wear shoes one day, if I have a strict face one day or a happy face one day, the students will always have something to say about me, right?
Yeah.
And when they look me up online, oh my God, this guy is bodybuilding, he's shirtless, he's doing the sword fighting, who is this? Everyone has an opinion. Oh, maybe you should work more on iVenture. Maybe you should stop doing the bodybuilding, right? Everyone has an opinion.
That's true.
I don't think I'm hurting anyone. I think some opinions are helpful, but they're really siloed. For example, my martial arts coach, everything they say when I'm in the martial arts dojo, I will listen to. I'm like the best student, man. I will listen to everything, and they're like, wow, this guy's really picking up things, because I want to be the best. But if they're giving me life advice outside of that, some of it could be good, but some of it might not apply to me. So you need to understand, just like any entrepreneur, you're going to get a lot of opinions. It's your company. Who's the expert of your company at the end of the day? You, right? Even the customers, everyone has an opinion. You got to figure out what to do.
That's very true.
Yeah, and otherwise, man, like, the most important thing in life, I think, is like happiness. So just, I would hate to follow someone else's vision for me that doesn't take into account all the things happening in my life. What motivates me, what scares me, all these things, and just follow that blindly and end up in a place where I'm like, oh, what if? That's the worst question.
Yeah.
At the end of your life, if you're like, what if? You have regret, you cannot change that.
That's true.
Anger, sadness, happiness, heartbreak, all those are fine, but like this, you can't change. Regret.
That's true. Yeah, and you made a very good point of that, asking the right question to right people, right? So even all of our conversations changed. I remember we had one focused conversation about our product, like it's not going well. We built a very good product, but nobody is kind of we don't see the traction in it. So that's when like we learned that like asking right question to right people. Like, so if I am talking to somebody who haven't gotten the same experience, it's very difficult to get some facts or some insights that could help us to take the best next step for us, right? So that's a very good, it's the biggest takeaway for me personally in last 1 year, because I've been traveling across multiple cities, both India and US, living a nomadic lifestyle like you, having 1 meal per day, learned a lot about life, lot too about market, right? That's when I stopped talking and started listening. That has a different power and different, I don't know how to put it in words, but I see that my dots are connecting sharper and faster when I listen more than talk. So it's a biggest takeaway. I don't know whether if I never been to iVenture or this entrepreneurial experiment, I don't think I would be knowing myself better. So the another way to put it is like, do entrepreneurship at the least you know about yourself better. So that's something biggest takeaway for me, right? So now I know where I'm really good at, where I need to work upon, who could be my best co-founder, who could be when should I raise money, where I'm really good at, right? Because as an entrepreneur, you'll be doing multiple things, right? Doing to pitching, to talking to people, to writing documentation, to doing coding, and then the other day we'll be wearing a backend and doing Java code, the other day cloud. I feel it's a best way to find ourselves could be start doing something, start building something, right? So that's something. So many students might have come to you, Manu, I'm really trust this idea, but I don't know where to start. I'm really not sure whether this idea will work or not. Have you come across those students in your past 10 years of running this accelerator, and what are your take on it? Like, how did you motivate them?
Motivation is nothing.
Okay.
Discipline is everything.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so ideas are also nothing. Execution and action is everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so ideas, to be quite frank, I don't really care when someone tells me an idea.
Okay.
Unless there's a plan and some deadlines.
Okay.
So my office hours are open for students, but they're becoming increasingly limited because as more and more people hear about the entrepreneurship programs that we run, of course more and more people want to get involved, but like not everyone's qualified. Like, so just, people are like, how did you build companies? I just Googled it. What do we need to do? We need a bank account, we need payment processing, right? We need social media account, we need an email. Like, you just like slowly learn these things. So that's the beauty about entrepreneurship, and that's the beauty about the world we live in. It's just, you have the power.
Yeah.
You are enough. Like, I don't know if you went to film school or anything, or did you?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's the question?
Film school? Did you go to film school?
No.
Yeah, but you're a filmmaker. Huh? Right?
Yeah.
So it's just like all these labels and things that we have, like just doing something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do the thing. So getting an MBA doesn't mean all of a sudden like you're a business person, right? Right?
Yeah.
My undergrad is in applied health sciences.
And there you go. You are the leader of this accelerator.
Yeah. How am I qualified if that's the only thing you're looking at? So you got to do things. Ideas, I don't really have much. I think ideas are cool. A lot of cool ideas get pitched to me, very high level in deep tech and global impact, but I give my thoughts on them, and that's less important than the second meeting in which, hey, we tried this thing out and this is what we learned, what can we do moving forward? Yeah, but no one has the answers, like, even but you have to find it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the problem with a lot of education and entrepreneurship advice is just, there's some good advice, like, okay, you need to understand what lifetime value is and customer acquisition costs, and you need to understand the basics of pricing and unit economics. Sure, of course. Marketing, sales funnel, of course. The more knowledge you have, awesome. But at a certain point, you got to stop thinking about exercise and actually do the exercise. There's so many ways to study the push-up and the bench press and all this stuff, and you have to study it.
Yeah.
You don't want to injure yourself, but there's going to be a point where your studying is going to give you marginal benefit, and you got to just execute.
That's true. So other thing is, like, as you rightly mentioned, for us, right, when we started something, the idea was nothing. Idea is simply, it's an imaginary thing in my mind, like as a team. But eventually we talk to people to the right people, eventually land on the problem. Eventually we started understanding the market. So I feel, that's the delta I feel, that ambitious belief of the founders and to reaching the point where there is an actual problem. This delta, how many people have traversed, they have reached the next stages in the startup. People who haven't reached that place are, they shut it down, they feel like entrepreneurship is not for us, and then move ahead to the next thing. So
that's
I feel
the beauty.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty, because a lot of people today, I'm talking about generations today, there's no sense of delayed gratification. Everything is instant. We're going to do this, we want to do startups, we're going to make it rich quick. That works sometimes, I think, but you really got to, the whole beauty of startups, in my opinion, small companies, is it's fun. And we talked about what we want in life, and it's just like happiness and fun. It's just, you get to put your hands in all kinds of stuff, right? Every part of a company you get to see and influence. You can see the results of your work. and that's really empowering. You get to work with people that you like, right? You know, so that's the beauty of startups, and you do stuff that matters. There's no like corporate slowdown, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's yes, outcomes are important. So getting an accomplishment and climbing to the top of the mountain is great. But you know, for example, I just climbed Kilimanjaro. That's over 19,000 feet in Africa. It's the tallest mountain in Africa. It's the tallest freestanding mountain in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to the top, you know, at the top, we spent about 20, 30 minutes. You can't spend that much because there's not enough oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
But then we walked back down, okay? The majority of the time is spent on the journey.
Yeah.
You know what they said about our group when we were climbing? They said, you guys are the happiest group. You're dancing, singing, smiling. Everyone else is just miserable.
Really?
Why would I do that if it was not fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, the top is important. It's not guaranteed to get there. Not all of us thought we would make it there because it's so high and it's a 40-mile hike and it's 6 days, right? But if we're gonna do it, let's have fun along the way. That's important.
Yeah, that's very good.
That delta, what you just mentioned, the chasm, right, of entrepreneurs from early adopters to like broad market adoption. This is the beauty of this space, man.
Yeah, that's very true. Even if you fail in that gives a different learning for us, right? So so having said that, you said like you failed in your first business. Like how did you face that failure very first time? Like, because very first time, if you see that it's not going in the way that you expected, how would you react to it? How did you react?
Oh, I mean, I think I'm failing all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, there's failure is a necessary ingredient of like everything in life. So yeah, company failed, and then we got to get rid of employees. We have to rethink like what we're gonna do. We have to pivot. Family is not happy because you're not making any money. Like failures, that was incredibly tough. You know, I was out on my own, living in the same one studio apartment with my co-founder. No bed, just no AC, just really thinking about what to do. That's not glamorous. But on the flip side, again, it's about the journey. So every day, my co-founder and I, maybe we were stupid, we'd walk in and we're like, it is a privilege to build your own company in this country. We are so lucky. We don't make any money. I was making like maybe $240 a month back then.
Wow.
A month.
That's a big thing. Like, so you gave us a challenge as well, right? Earning a $1.
$1.
Yeah, that's a very big thing, man. Like $240.
Yeah, but you see, so failure. Yeah, it's at dance. I have dance practice later today. It's tough, especially if you're doing Latin dance. The man, the lead, typically, is supposed to know all the steps and guide the woman or the follow through the steps. It is not easy because the pressure is from the instructor and your partner. You got to make sure you do all this stuff, and that's tough. And I'm failing quite a bit with that. Martial arts, failure will teach you really quickly because I don't block what happens.
Okay.
Adi.
That's a good word. Yeah.
Just like so, it's just failure is necessary, but that's how do you learn? So failure is everything. Quitting is different.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
That's good, man. Like, and as you said, like, so now I'm little bit want to focus on the relationship aspect of it when it comes to building a company, because two things people think when they have an idea is, one, I need to find the right co-founder or a business partner. Two, I need money. Like, in order to start something, I need money. Where would I find money? I'm not well-to-do family guy. I have to take care of my family. Where the money is going to come from? Like, so they have this pre-notion of that I need good partner, I need money to start. Like, for people who are thinking of that direction, how would you break that ice for them?
So again, it depends. We have some amazing companies here working on deep tech, such as clean energy sources, some hardware companies, some beautiful stuff in the medtech space, and you need a big team and lots of money to do that. Cool. If you're just starting out, I don't think you need either. I don't think you need a co-founder, and I don't think you need any money. I think you should wait on money for as long as possible. Raising money is not really a business model. You're selling part of your company to investors, right? So a lot of companies will need that injection of capital when they've found like a product market fit, when they've already started making sales, when they already have traction. And that makes sense because you want to accelerate that growth. We figured out who our customers are. We've built a sticky product. We have product market fit. And we're going to use this as an injection of capital for sales and marketing and to increase our team so we can just dive into that and capture that market. Cool. And then the VCs get their return, or the investors get their return, and hopefully have like some kind of liquidation event. Cool. When you're starting out, like, I mean, what are you building that needs money? Seriously, come on. Everything now is democratized.
Yeah.
You can sell stuff online. You've seen AI tools like Google VO, that you can create films online. There's so much stuff. So in many ways, you are the limiting factor. Your time and your energy for this. Everyone always wants a co-founder. Find that idea, start making progress on it, get it to a point where you cannot continue. That's when you know you need a co-founder. So for example, we're talking about content production. I come up with the idea, I script it,
Okay.
I narrate it and record it. I have the animations that I need for the thumbnails done through, various tools. And only then do I give it to the editor. He has probably the most important job, but I've done all the other stuff about it. Am I like a content creator? Not really, but I've done enough to put him in, right? Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that being said though, excuse me.
Yeah.
That being said though, it's always important to have like the best people in your corner. Best people in your corner. So that's why I work in startups. I've worked and built companies with my best friends. I'm here at iVenture working with like some amazing people. Like people ask, who inspires you? Is it Musk or Zuckerberg? No, it's iVenture entrepreneurs. You guys are all awesome.
Oh my God.
This guy right here.
Oh. Thank you so much, man. So
Subramanian. Murugan.
Yeah.
Nambi.
Nah. Nandri bro. That's what, like bro is like we call it Anna. So yeah, so that's good thing. Like on the flip side, like the relationships, the other side of relationships, like you being the connector, you being the social butterfly of UI UC, I would say that, because whoever we want to connect, you make a very warm introduction. You have given a very good push to go out, go talk to him, I remember that whenever there is a demo day or board meeting happens, hey, you should definitely talk to this person, has some good insights. That needs some heart. That's because I don't know many people who do it wholeheartedly, but I see that you're doing often. And having said that, like, how do you balance all these interpersonal relationships with people? That's so difficult. Like after some time, we feel like it's saturated. Like what's your input for someone who's also balanced as a CEO, want to balance the corporate relationships as well as the interpersonal relationships with the employees, as well as the investors, as well as the champions who can take their company to 10x or 20x?
So first off, I'm heartless. You know? So whatever Deepak is saying about my heart is not true because I don't have one.
Oh, no way. There is no way, man.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to what we said earlier about respect. Like everyone that's selected into this competitive program, I give them my respect. So in the beginning, on the first day of iVenture, I tell them, look guys, if you don't want to be here, just leave right now. Because if you stay here, you'll get 110% of me. I will do whatever I can in the next 10 weeks to make you guys as successful as possible. And I think I stay true to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Every connection, every office hour, any strategy, like I am pushing them. I'm almost thinking like it's my own company. So I give it 100%. So when it's finished, I can say I did what I needed to do and my conscience is clear and I can go on to the next thing, right? If you didn't show up, that's on you. But I will, my team and I, we will be here and we will do everything in our power to make sure you're successful, to help you, support you, right?
Yeah.
So that's just the expectation. It's just, I can't be everything to everyone, but I can be who I need to be in different roles. So I'm not necessarily like people's therapist here or their fitness instructor. Even though people ask me those questions, I have a very singular objective. You want to build this company? You want to do this entrepreneur thing? Okay, let's try to figure out a way to make it happen, right? So I have a very specific role here.
I see. Yeah.
Whereas, sometimes relationships get complicated when you have to fulfill everything or multiple roles, right? So I'm very focused here. And of course, some other stuff bleeds in because these students are stalking me on social media, but for the most part, we stay pretty focused and I keep it extremely professional.
Makes sense.
In terms of the whole band of relationships that I manage, again, are we texting each other every day?
No.
Yes. So that's that. It's just when we meet, something about it has to feel real. We're just like, okay, that matters. That's the thing. It's just like there's literally over 1,000 relationships that I manage, and each one is fun. But there's no way I'm gonna text you every day. How are you, bro? No. When we meet, it has to matter. It has to be, like this. This is a very meaningful, articulate, deep conversation. I think we're covering a lot of ground. So just you never know how much time you have. You never know when's the next time you'll see someone. So for me, it's just whenever I interact with someone, even if it's 10 minutes. Like before this, we had a 10-minute office hour. People came in and they left and like, wow, it's going to change. But that's how it's got to be. That's how I have to be. And so the whole component of relationships, that's everything for iVenture. iVenture is a people, not a place or a thing.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Yeah,
we
it's all
learn
about
from
the people.
right? So we as a founders sit together and dissect the problem, helping each other. That's a very good quality. I feel everybody should go into such kind of ecosystem.
Yeah.
Before they jump into something, doing it in a separate space.
Yeah.
I feel like-minded people together brainstorm, fight, and come up with some conclusion. Okay, these are the things that possibly can work with people, right?
Yeah.
So,
like, what's the most important thing from iVenture for you? Would you say?
it's a people, of course.
People. It's a community.
There is no doubt in that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You guys are all ballers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing people. Your cohort. I mean, even you. You know, like it's so amazing how many layers there are to you, right?
Yeah.
And that you feel some way about this community that you keep coming back to, you know, help us out.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that we're giving you. Like
Yes.
people still come back and give freely. That is the power of people.
That's true. That's very, very true, Manu. And so, having said that,
And one last thing on that, this
Yeah.
just comes down to prioritization at the workplace too.
Okay.
So we talked about prioritization in terms of personal goals. You know, running an entrepreneurship program, there's always a lot of goals. How much money did you raise? How many companies have had a successful exit? You know, what industries are you in? All that, that's cool.
yeah.
But, you know, some of the intangible things, and this is really important, is what is the culture of iVenture? Why do people come back? You know, what does it mean to be part of iVenture? When someone says they're part of iVenture and they reach out to an alumni, will they reach back out? Of course they will.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that is something special here that I think makes us very unique in terms of collegiate programs. We've built an amazing community of people that truly believe in and inspire each other. Like the word iVenture in our community has a strong
Bond.
bond. Yeah, strong bond.
That's highly unspoken, but it has a very strong bond, I would say. So having said that, slowly moving to the fitness.
Oh boy!
Before we go to the end of this show.
You looking good, man.
Oh my God! No way, man. So you are always
Mr. Tamil Nadu.
Not Mr. Tamil Nadu for sure. Oh my God! People who are going to watch from Tamil Nadu, they're going to like, who is this guy? But yeah. So having said that, so how do you see the fitness? How this fitness sticking to good health habits? I don't know whether you do meditation or not, because when you articulate, you are so clear, so you know what you are saying. We can sense that, we can feel that. So how did you get to that level? Is there any way the fitness is helping you, or being mindfulness by doing yoga or meditation is helping you, like on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rate that?
So I don't meditate, but in terms of how I'm articulating myself, it's very simple. So we talked earlier about one component, which is what's the most important relationship in life, right? It's yourself. And then you go through all these goals and things, and you talked about societal expectations. Okay, and this is what society expects me to do. Like, who in society? What part of society? I'm sure if you look at society, 10 different people will have 10 different expectations for you, right? And no matter what you do, people will judge you.
Yeah.
Once you realize that and you really embrace that, nothing else matters. So the whole phase that I'm in right now is just, I have nothing to hide. I am who I am. And there are times when I try to hide my fitness stuff from the students or put the content stuff to the side and just be like, I'm only a director, this is all I do. That's not me.
Yeah.
Now I'm me and I'm playing this role in this space. Everything else is part of me, but I'm here for you in this particular thing.
Correct.
Right? So in terms of the articulation, it's because I'm very sure of who I am and I'm not hiding anything now. My parents get a side of me. It's not this side, the director side, but I'm sure if I put my parents with you in a room, there would be some Venn diagram of things that, oh, this is Manu, right? Like these are the qualities of Manu, right? So I'm just being authentically myself, just playing different roles in different spaces, right? So for example, like when I go to the martial arts dojo, you can bet that I am very attentive, very serious, very focused, right? These are things that transcend environment, but I can still bring them and still be my authentic self in those places. And fitness is everything. Of course, you got to stay active, man. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. You gotta, like, if I'm a leader, what's the most important thing? To take care of yourself. So how can I take care of other people if I myself am not like healthy, cognitively ready, right? Socially fulfilled, like all these things, like I'm living a very fulfilled life, and I want to share that abundance with people.
That's true.
Yeah. Fitness is everything. I think some Greek philosopher said, "What's the point, of growing old without a man really understanding like the capabilities of his body, right? Man or woman, and a sound mind and sound body, and they both feed each other.
Yeah.
So you think all this hard training doesn't have an effect on your mind? Of course. I love uncomfortable things. I don't even have a bed, man. I sleep on the floor. I like being uncomfortable. Bring it on. I want to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's fitness. You're just slowly getting better over days. You're slowly building discipline over days. You realize that it's about the journey, right? So the muscles and the bodybuilding shows on, that's cool, but that is nothing compared to the hours you're pushing the weights, watching your diet, sleeping, all these things. And that's this like startups. All these little things you do, this change in our checkout procedure, this social media campaign that we did, this new co-founder that I built, ultimately, hopefully it attracts customers and you build a profitable business, right?
Yeah.
All these things, little things add up over time. Yeah.
That's very...
It's a very fine parallel to just life, fitness.
That's very true, man. Like, I really learned a lot about fitness today. Like, you mapped that fitness into startup. Wow, that's a very good analogy. And so being consistent is again a challenge in fitness, especially. I remember I faced a lot of times when I want to, come out of my bed. Like my mind was like, can we sleep for another 5 minutes? Why don't we skip
5
today?
minutes for this guy means 30 minutes. Okay?
No.
You're on a different planet.
But yeah, so I am coming back to that. So how would you down that voice? I hope everybody would be having that voice within us. Hey Deepak, it's okay. Take some time, sleep for a minute. It's Sunday. Why you have to go? How would you, oppose your own inner voice? Have you ever come across what I'm saying? Like, of course you should be, but I'm just curious. How would you tackle that as a warrior?
So I'll say this. So it's okay if like not every day is perfect. I don't think any day can be. It's okay if you slip up a couple days. But for me, it's just the way I've set up my life, there's very little room to not show up. For example, for this podcast, if I don't want to do it, then I say no. But then exactly, I'm going to make him cry.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than that, really, right? Because we've built a relationship. You've given a lot back to the program. So if you're asking for this, it's the least I could do, right? Right, and after this, I have another commitment to take these meetings, right? I have another commitment to go to dance and do the thing that I said that I do. So just I don't give myself the option to say no to things. Whether I want to or not, I have to show up, right? For example, for the morning workout at 5:30, my buddy, who's a Marine, he comes out my house and he blares his horn as loud as he can until I get out, right? It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to skip that. And I'm going to be on time. For iVenture, I come here in the morning. Do you think I want to speak at 10 o'clock, every day to a bunch of entrepreneurs who are sleepy, who might not be motivated, like these people that we've selected in this program? Like, do I really want to do that? Of course not, right? I want to speak to people that are ready to roll and all that kind of stuff. But I can see past all of that because they're working on amazing things and they're human beings themselves too. So it's just that's where I am. It's just I'm never going to be ready for anything. And again, what's the worst emotion? Is really regret. So if I don't move, let's say I sleep in and I skip my workout, then I come here, I know my blood's not flowing. I know I didn't do something for myself that's going to weigh on me internally, and I'm going to be less effective that day. So this inner voice thing, just change your inner voice. My inner voice is you got to get up and go in because you got this, and this to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got to have to happen sometime, unless you don't care about those goals.
That's true.
Yeah, so just change the inner voice.
Yeah.
Don't give yourself a choice. You don't need to do many things. Just do one thing and just do that relentlessly. You want to be a filmmaker in Hollywood? Then do everything you can to be a filmmaker in Hollywood. You want to be an entrepreneur? Cool, be a profitable entrepreneur. Do the thing, right? Just pick one thing and just really dive into it. But what are you going to accomplish by not chasing the things that you yourself said are important for you? You created your goals. I'm not telling you, all the companies that come here, I don't set their goals, they set their goals.
Yeah.
They set their goals, they set their deadline. I'm okay, it's 2 weeks since you set this goal. You said you do it. Where are you? Oh, I don't know. Or, hey, we achieved it, right? It's up to you.
Yeah.
Like no one can be a babysitter for you in life.
That's
Yeah.
that's a very good way of saying it. Oh my God, this is a very powerful insight. I would say, Manu, like because as you rightly said, like we can feel that energy, right? Once we come out of workout, we'll be like, wow, I'm going to conquer the world. Like that too, if you get that fitness, energy in the early morning, I think that the day would be like you would be spreading that energy to people. We can easily visualize that. But yeah, so as you mentioned, maybe we should always have. I always feel that we should always have a knife at our neck. That's when like we always stick to something. If we slightly remove that knife, we'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to take a rest. That's because of a human psychology. I don't know. That could be one way to say it, because many people say have deadline for everything. As you also mentioned, right? Have deadline for everything. When you have to be finishing something, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and I've seen death. Like as an EMT, and I did some shadowing at the fire department, and we see a lot of things. So like human life is very fragile. It's gone like that, just like in the blink of a moment. So for me, it's just. Even in startups, we had a rule with our company, which is the one bus rule. If one co-founder gets run over by a bus, like what does the next person do, right? So for me, it's just things can end any day. So why not just make every day awesome? It's very simple. Like if it was my last day, do I really want to lie in bed? No, I would want a killer workout for sure, right? But you got to figure out what you like to do and do those things.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but it's very hard to execute in modern society because of all the things that you said. Expectations, all these things that take up our time, all these distractions, right? But once you have like a clear vision on what you want to do, then all the small decisions become easier, in my opinion. As a leader, like any CEO or director, like anyone in my role, like we really need to get the big decisions right and try to avoid mistakes.
Correct.
There's little things that matter, and they deeply matter, but the big things really matter. For example, for the summer, we just moved our program from Champaign to Chicago. Of course, there's food issues and lodging and swag and hiring a good team. All those are important. But the most important thing for me, in my opinion, was creating a culture in Champaign that transcended just a university. So whatever building I put them in, I could control these students and they would shine as good examples of U of I. You get what I'm saying? That was the most important thing.
Oh yeah, so having said that, Manu, so we are moving to the acting aspect of yours, which is something I really want to, touch upon. And so I think you are on the second level, right, in the acting studio Chicago?
I'm not like him.
Oh my God.
I'm not a natural.
Oh, no way. So yeah, so now I have a task for you. So I'm going to say the emotion and the name of the emotion you are going to do for me. Is that okay?
We'll see. Be careful what you wish for.
Oh yeah, so the first one, smile. Fear.
I don't feel fear.
Angry. Fight. No way.
Dishum.
No way. Stop. Romantic.
That's not for you.
Oh.
That's not for you.
Okay. Okay, so that's a really good creative, Manu. So having said that, the last three, the deep rapid fires. So I want you to tell the 5 to 6 events in your life that helped you to be the person you are today. Just 5 subsequent events.
So I'd say one would be just the upbringing that we talked about. 2 would be starting a company. 3 would be running this program. 4 would be traveling the world. And 5 would be training in Kalari.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really direct. Thank you so much for that, Manu. And then I want you to react 1 or 2 lines for some of the words that I see that it's very close to you. So number 1 is why Batman?
One word?
Yes, 1 word, 1 line or 2 lines max.
Oh, Batman is everything. I make my decisions based on what would Batman do.
And happiness?
Me.
Money?
Don't care.
Time?
Most valuable thing.
Power?
Necessary.
1 life lesson?
A man's reach should exceed his grasp.
1 mentor in your life?
Batman.
Big wish?
Happiness.
Favorite movie?
Batman Begins.
Man, you are always Batman. Favorite dish?
Protein shake.
Oh my god. Favorite character in epic histories?
Gangaputran Bhishma.
Wow. Inspiring bodybuilder?
Deepak Subramanian.
Oh my god. Then Deepak to you?
Deepak to me.
Oh my god, it's got a lot of thoughts behind it.
Joy.
Joy? Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think you
Okay.
bring a lot of joy into our lives.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so kind of you, man. So having said that, so the one last question that I want to end this podcast is like, what question are you currently asking yourself the most?
Am I doing enough for the big goals that I keep telling myself I want to achieve?
That's amazing. That's so deep. With that being said, thank you so much, Manu, for being an amazing guest. And this Rising Eagle started with the vision of that, you know, the eagle's mindset, right? Eagles always fly high against all the odds, against all the problems. It always find a way to fly high. With this podcast episodes, I want the listeners who, listened and go out of this podcast should fly high with the insights they get from this podcast. So that's the vision, that's the mission for this podcast. That's why I do what I do. As you always say, that's how you have trained us in our iVenture Accelerator. So the final word to all the students who want to be part of iVenture, the future iVenture founders. Do you want to say anything to them?
Yeah, if you're thinking about something, it's good to think, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. With that being said, thank you so much, Manu, for being an amazing guest. And with the Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaskaram
Namaskaram.
from Deepak to Manu.
Nandri.